Millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of shoppers, hours of traveling. This week, a look at the impact of Mexican shoppers on Arizona's economy.
For shopping, there's a lot more options here than in Sierra Vista or in Nogales.
A report by two University of Arizona professors found Mexican nationals spend at least $1 billion in Arizona every year, and that number spikes during the holiday season.
They're here all year round, so thank God. But yeah, of course, at Christmas time they come because of all the sales and everything that's going on, so they also come to benefit from that.
It's a critical shopping demographic for store owners. This is Arizona Week. Visit Tucson. The Visitors Bureau in Pima County works closely with its counterpart in Sonora to create a positive shopping experience for Mexican nationals. Felipe Garcia from Visit Tucson. Today we're talking about the impact of Mexican shoppers in the Tucson area. It's a $1 billion industry, is that true?
That's correct.
What about during the holiday season?
Well, the holiday season, we're looking almost to $250 million that will be spent by Mexican nationals here in our community.
What would this community look like without their economic impact?
My gosh, it would be from higher taxes for everyone here in the community to, again, lack of a lot of the services that we enjoy as citizens because of that Mexican market. A lot of people don't realize that when these shoppers coming and they're ringing their bill at the registry, there's an item at the end that says sales tax, and they're paying those sales tax here in our community. About 5% of all taxable sales in Pima County are coming from people from across the border. So even if you don't work at a restaurant or hotel or a retailer, you're still being affected by that Mexico shopper.
What's in it for the shoppers? Why do they come here? There's a lot more options for them?
And I think that's a very interesting observation. A lot of people question, why are these shoppers coming across the border? Why travel to another country to go shopping? And the main reason is because of pricing of products. Mexico and China have a kind of an undeclared trade war, and as we know, a lot of the products, the clothing, electronics are coming from China. So there's very high import duties, and not only import duties, but actually anti-dumping duties assessed in Chinese product in Mexico. So a piece of clothing in Mexico will be 2-3 times more expensive than here in the United States. Electronics also, there's a huge price difference. I've taken some retailers and actually mall operators, in fact, finding trips into Mexico. And one of the things we do is we go to malls south of the border and we just walk through the aisles and look at products. And it's fascinating to see the GMs of these shopping centers or store owners to look at a product and says, wow, and says, this is in my store, it's half the price or even lower, a regular retail price, not even a discount. So that's the main reason. And second is also what options you have for shopping. If you look at baby clothing, very limited stores. Here, oh my gosh, I can name you 10 different stores that sell children or baby clothing. And in Mexico, it's very limited the selection, and again, a very high price. So for us, it's a competitive advantage, and we really take advantage of it.
And the tourism industry in Mexico knows that these people want to come here to shop, so now we're having tour buses come to Tucson.
We have tour buses of people, they'll drive all night long. They'll meet in Hermosillo, that's the capital of Sonora, that is further south of us. They'll drive all night, arrive like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at the border, and first cross whatever's open, Walmart, they go into shopping. Then they'll come to Tucson and visit 2 or 3 of the malls and some other retailers. And then around 9 o'clock at night, they'll go back into Mexico. They will not sleep, maybe in the bus, of course. They don't use hotels. They don't stay at our hotels. And that's okay because they're still leaving money here in our community. But something, Lorraine, that is very interesting is that now even communities in Mexico are taking advantage of that cross-border shopper. The city of Hermosillo, we work very closely with their Office of Tourism. And they develop a very interesting program. They realize that there's people from the state of Sinaloa, that is further south, that they drive to Tucson to shop. But they know that that visitor that is coming from Sinaloa, they're going to drive back, and it's to Culiacan about 11, 12 hours. That's a long drive. So they're offering a place to stay the night. So they're really marketing in Sinaloa. They have advertising that says that the city of Hermosillo pays for, and it says, hey, are you going to go shopping to Tucson? Spend the night, don't drive tired, spend the night here. we are supporting that effort because we noticed that someone from Culiacan that is here shopping, Sunday, 9 a.m., they'll say, I'll have breakfast and I'm headed back because I want to be there back home in a decent time. So we know that we'll lose that shopper sometime early in the morning on Sunday. If they plan to stay that night in Hermosillo, Sunday night, and Monday morning leave early to go to Culiacan, then they're going to leave maybe at 2 or 3 o'clock out of Tucson. So we gain from that effort from Sonora, we're gaining 5-6 hours of shopping time here in Tucson. So it's very interesting that not only we're benefiting, but also state of Sonora is benefiting of that cross-border shopper.
Right. And they're buying everything from electronics to clothes, but they're also eating in restaurants, and in some cases when they drive, they're staying in the hotels.
They're eating at restaurants, they're shopping, they're putting gas in their cars, they're going to Walgreens to supply with products here and there. They spend money in many places that we have no idea. Medical supply companies, they come and buy wheelchairs and other products. We found other people coming and buy for resale or coming to the auto dealerships and buying also spare parts for vehicles. So the impact is not only our shopping centers, it's throughout the Tucson community that we're seeing those individuals coming and spend money. So it's great for us, and actually it's a necessity for us in Tucson and Southern Arizona to have that Mexico shopper.
Here's a breakdown of the sales impact Mexican shoppers have on counties in Arizona. The greatest is in Pima County at 37%, primarily because it's the largest and closest metropolitan area to the border. The 2007 report shows 26% in Maricopa County, 16% in Santa Cruz County, about 9% in Yuma County, and the least 6% in Cochise County. Making the trip north, as Felipe described, is quite an effort. More than a lengthy trip, Mexican nationals have to pay fees and fill out paperwork. Here again is Felipe Garcia from Visit Tucson.
Well, it's an interesting process because the first thing you have to do is you need to have a visa. So people from Mexico, they have to apply to a visa. They have to go to a consulate or the embassy, U.S. consulate or embassy, to apply for a visa. You pay, I think it's $130 for an interview. If you are approved, they'll send you a visa. It's called a border crossing card. It's kind of an ID that you can put on your wallet. Once they cross the border into the U.S., they're going to be asked at the border by U.S. Customs Inspector, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" Says, "No." "Okay, can I see your visas?" That will be swiped through a machine. So now U.S. Customs and Border Protection, that by the way have been a great partner in helping us bring those visitors coming into the community, they'll count how many visits by Mexico nationals. So then they'll arrive and at the border, they'll be asked, "Where are you going to?" If they're coming to Tucson only or up to Tucson, just with their visas, they're good to go. If they're going to go past Tucson, if they're going to go to Phoenix or Flagstaff or California, then they must park their vehicle, go upstairs to go to get a second permit. And that's another interview, another process. You pay $6 for the permit for what is called the I-94 permit, so you can go past Tucson. So we have an advantage that we're in what is called a border zone. So then people arrive here, and believe me, the first thing they'll do is go shopping till late at night. Early in the morning, they'll wake up, hopefully have a good breakfast, and they're off to the stores again. After they're done with their shopping and ready to go back home, they'll package their goods in a certain way. They're ready to go back home. When they cross the border, they'll be asked, of course, there's a mechanism. They have a green and a red light, so there's like a traffic light. So you get close to your vehicle, a green light pops off, you're good to go. If a red light comes on, you have to go to the side and they'll inspect your vehicle. And you're allowed, now they changed this actually a few days ago, and now they're allowed people from Mexico to bring back $500 worth of product per person without having to pay extra taxes. Otherwise, they have to pay extra taxes on that.
It's very expensive for them in some cases, but it's worth it, and the city of Tucson and the surrounding areas really relies on these shoppers.
It's very important for us. Again, it's 5% of our taxable sales. If you go to Nogales, Arizona, it's 50%. So imagine communities that like us, that we really depend on sales tax. It's very important that we have those visitors coming from south of the border.
And you expect that relationship between Mexico and the U.S., Arizona, Sonora to continue for the economic benefit?
Definitely we have. And we need to realize the importance that Mexico has for us and our economy, and also the prosperity in Mexico. The state of Sonora, they've been growing on investment, foreign direct investment into Sonora, mostly in aerospace companies. So a lot of aerospace companies have set up shop in Mexico, in Sonora. And I'll read the newspaper from Mexico every day to see what's going on, exchange rates, business development down there. And there's a company in the state of Sonora that is recruiting all these transnational and multinational companies, and mostly aerospace. And one day I called the CEO of the company. I know him very well, and then I say, "Hey, congratulations because you landed X company in your park." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And then a month later, call him back again. "Hey, congratulations tonight. I'm going to celebrate because you're opening this new facility." And once he asked me, he says, "Hey, Felipe, why are you so happy? I mean, I'm bringing jobs to Mexico. Why are you celebrating?" And I told my friend, says, "Well, because I know that in 2 days, the head of HR of your company is going to be calling my office to book hotel nights for your new clients and your new employees that they're going to come shopping to Tucson. So every time you're securing more investment and more jobs, those people are going to be coming up here to my community to shop. So that's why I really wish for Sonora to Sinaloa to do very well, because the more disposable income that they have, we also benefit from that as well."
Okay, Felipe Garcia from Visit Tucson. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Once Mexican nationals have arrived in the Tucson area, they're excited to visit big shopping centers like the Tucson Mall.
It's that magical time of year, Santa, elves, and plenty of good cheer. Deep discounts, dozens of choices, plus the glitz and glam of the holiday season are the perfect draw for visitors from Mexico who visit the Grand Canyon State often, especially this time of year.
Postal, Hollister, Victoria's Secret, H&M, Forever 21.
Visit Tucson officials say the Mexican shopper wants choices and finds nearly everything he or she wants in places like the Tucson Mall, and they've got the bags to prove it.
There's more stores. We don't have stores in Sierra Vista like this, and here is cheaper.
Danita Moreno and Areli Lopez live in Cananea, Sonora, Mexico, south of the Naco, Arizona border. The teenage girls woke up at 4 in the morning to make the 3-hour drive to Tucson for one reason.
For shopping, there's a lot more options here than in Sierra Vista or in Nogales.
They say they spend about $300 each in one day. They, like thousands of others, spend hours commuting, walking the mall, and driving around the city. They do this every year.
But it's worth it.
Hola, ¿cómo están? You guys seen these before?
And store owners couldn't agree more.
It's the best thing since cake and ice cream.
Brian Ramos manages e-cigarettes by Vaporize.
How you guys doing?
He says Mexican customers tell him they can't easily find his products in Mexico, so they come here, buy in bulk, and it is worth it for this commission-based seller.
You know they're coming to spend money. They're not coming just for just 1 or 2. They're coming for 5 or 6. No fuma.
Mexican shoppers are not just searching for that special gift.
So este como like elegante, bonito, especial.
They are spending money on everyday items.
They're here all year round, so thank God. But yeah, of course, at Christmas time they come because of all the sales and everything that's going on, so they also come to benefit from that. Este es mi favorito perfume para hombre.
Nili Vamush owns Perfume Paradise and estimates 70 to 80% of her annual business comes from shoppers who make the trip north from Mexico, a clientele she's learned to cater to.
You have to be able to speak Spanish, otherwise they don't. They prefer to speak to somebody who speaks their language. I had to learn it completely from knowing nothing to be able to talk to them, you know. Este no nuevo, huele rico.
Throughout the years, stores rely on the Mexican shopper, especially during the holiday season.
I'm sure Tucson would be in a different place if we didn't have the Mexican shoppers as far as retail.
Of the $1 billion spent in Pima County annually, at least half are in retail sales. The Tucson Mall and Park Place Mall say their research shows Mexican shoppers are spending nearly $500 per trip. Brighid Brown, the marketing manager for Tucson Mall and Park Place Mall. We're talking about the significant impact of the Mexican shopper on these two properties this time of year. Fair to say it's a pretty significant impact?
Oh, definitely. The Mexican National is, it's definitely a strong customer base for us. If you think about it as a whole, Tucson receives about 2.7 million Mexican National visitors every year. It contributes about $1 billion to the local economy. And of those surveyed, about 58% of them say that they're coming to shop. Their primary reason for coming into Tucson is for shopping, with Tucson Mall and Park Place being their #1 and #2 shopping destinations.
What do some of the dollars look like for the malls?
It's kind of hard to translate, what they're actually spending and how it translates to the sales. A lot of the Mexican nationals just use cash, so it's a little bit harder to track. However, just by, doing the parking lot counts and seeing the different Sonora license plates and talking with our retailers, we estimate that about 35% of our traffic is actually from Mexico.
When I talk to some of these customers, they're telling me they come here for the options and the prices. What is your experience from what you're learning from them?
Oh, absolutely. They're coming, especially to Tucson Mall for the selection. They tend to really buy in bulk. When they come up, they have a long drive, so they're coming and they're shopping not only for themselves, but their entire families and even neighbors. So, definitely you'll see a lot of large bulk purchases. Like I said, also a lot of cash purchases. They definitely are shopping for more of the iconic brands. Anything that has like a logo across it, usually tends to be a big seller.
Do either of the malls do anything to cater to this demographic?
Oh, definitely. All of our signage, it's bilingual. We have free Wi-Fi available, which is great because a lot of them come up with the families. So it just, they're spending the entire day here. So it's just, it's a little extra amenity. We have great sit-down seating, or restaurant seating options. We do several trade shows a year down in Mexico to really kind of get that interaction and FaceTime with the shopper.
And on that note, you work with groups like Visit Tucson to
Yeah.
help gauge their interest in what these shoppers want when they finally come here.
Absolutely. We're very, we have a great partnership with Vamos of Tucson. We meet with them regularly. They even do some Are You Mexico Ready workshops for our retailers, which just kind of help prepare and prep our retailers with how to interact with this customer base.
And the Mexican shopper does not just come here during the holiday season.
No, you'll see them. They usually come about 3 or 4 times a year, especially during their long holiday breaks. So, they're a great customer to have. They're definitely contribute to the overall sales and traffic here at both properties.
It's as you would describe a niche market.
Yes, they are. They are, along with our military families and our college university students, they're a very strong customer base.
I spoke with some shoppers this morning who got up at 4 in the morning, crossed the border, made the drive up here, spend the day shopping, will return late tonight, cross the border. It sounds like a lot of effort, but you're glad they make that effort.
Oh, absolutely. And anything that we can do here to help them, because we do realize that, it's a long day. It's a commitment when they come up to come shopping. So, we're definitely here to be a partner for them. Moving forward in 2014, we're looking to actually add weekend concierge desk, just to kind of provide a little extra guidance and assistance.
So without that Mexican shopper, do you worry about what the numbers for the malls might look like? I mean, are they that significant?
They are very significant. However, as we explained earlier, there's definitely kind of a niche along with our military and our university. We have a strong local shopping base as well.
You're happy to have them here.
Absolutely.
Okay, Brighid Brown, the marketing manager for Park Place and Tucson Mall, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hundreds of millions of dollars spent in the U.S. by Mexican nationals for one city in Sonora, Mexico. That signals a healthy economy south of the border. So Manuel Hopkins, the Director of Economic Development for the city of Nogales, Sonora. If you would describe to viewers what Nogales, Sonora looks like when it comes to the economy. You have American stores, you have Mexican stores. What does that look like down there?
Well, Nogales has been growing population-wise, and in the economic development. There's been a lot of growth, a lot of important investments, a lot of investments in the commercial area. There's been all store openings recently this year, such as Home Depot, Sam's Club, Walmart was installed like 3 years or 5 years ago. The conditions to invest in Nogales are very found, and I feel that all the investors that see Nogales, they see as a good opportunity on their return on investment, because it's a border town. I mean, border towns are very dynamic. They have their own proper economy versus the interior of Mexico. But aside from that, I think Nogales has been growing a lot in its middle class because of the industry. The industry in Nogales have been offering better alternatives in their positions at work, and that has improved the economic power that each individual would have, so that the spending has increased in Nogales. So I think if we feel that Nogales is a good opportunity, a good place to invest, it has been announced in an article recently in the FDI magazine and Foreign Direct Investment magazine as one of the top 10 small cities of the world to invest as far as industry is concerned.
So you would say that, I mean, it's definitely growing. It's a little bit more sound when it comes to the economy than what people are used to hearing about it in recent years.
Definitely. I mean, definitely the growth indicators are higher than the average GDP of the state. I mean, Nogales has always been the driver of the economy of Sonora, and it's mostly driven because of the industry that's been in place for over 40 years. But aside from that, being a safe border recently that offers the good quality of life, the proximity to Arizona, to Phoenix and Tucson, that has established a more sound, positive message about Nogales.
We've learned that upwards of $1 billion are spent by Mexican shoppers in Pima County every year. And obviously the numbers look different when it comes time for holidays. That those are dollars that, though they're coming here, you might like to see some of that money stay in Mexico, but you understand that this is sort of part of the tradition and culture for people who live in Mexico to come to Arizona and shop.
Yes. I feel it's more like a tradition. I mean, we get the aguinaldo, no, in December, and people take advantage of taking a few days of vacation and going shopping and getting all their things prepared. So I feel it's more like a tradition. I feel that Arizona has a lot of things to offer as far as alternatives, as options that you can go buy and as shoppers and go purchase your things for Christmas. But yes, I mean, definitely we would like to have that spending stay in Sonora, but it's not something that we're promoting in the negative way. I feel that the more we collaborate between the government officials between Arizona and Sonora, and we coordinate and we communicate as far as what the needs and the advantages that both of us have, we can set a mega region initiative where we can increase our trade. We can be more reciprocal as far as having people going to Arizona and spend. And if you have people in Arizona go to Sonora in the tourist side and they spend, you have more spending money, and Sonorans going to come back. So it's something that goes back and forth. It's the more we can collaborate, the more we can strengthen our relationship to reinforce our economic development between the both states. I think that could take us to different, better levels for both to benefit both states.
And it is fair to say that Mexico does get sometimes negative press. There are Americans who don't want to travel south of the border, but as far as what's happening in Nogales, Sonora, as a city government, you guys are encouraging visitors from the U.S., from Arizona, to visit your community. What are some of the things that would draw them there that they may be watching and think, oh, I never thought about that, maybe I should travel down there?
Yes, one of the things that we've realized is the negative perception that Arizonans have. And it's mostly because we have not been as aggressive in promoting the positive things that we offer. There's a lot of things that Sonora and Nogales have to offer. And those are the things and the strategies that we're working on, the mechanisms of how to drive and send the positive message and the correct message. Just as a recent update, so Nogales has been recognized by the state as the safest larger cities of Sonora in the last year. So the safety indicators are record highs. I mean, the crime rate is very, very low. And those are the things that we have to acknowledge and we have to promote. But on the other side, I think Nogales offers a good place to come and visit. That we're working on safety, we're working on infrastructure. I mean, Mayor Guzman right now, after pushing all year long, he was approved several millions of dollars for paving. So those are the things that we need to keep on building. But I feel that Nogales has a lot of advantages. The tourism that comes down to Nogales has had not any situation, any problems in the last year, and most of them come for medical. It's mostly focused on medical. So those are things that we need to understand are positive things that we do and promote those.
And when you talk about the Mexican shopper coming from Nogales or maybe crossing through the port of entry down here and making their way into Arizona, you acknowledge that it is an important relationship, one that needs to remain healthy and vibrant. In the same note, these people are spending a lot of money, and that means that the economy in Mexico is rebounding.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I think the spending, we had a meeting last week, and there's some statistics. There's like approximately $19 billion spent from Mexico in Arizona, the whole state. So that tells you that the individual spending capabilities have increased in Mexico, the middle class have increased, and that gives you a good sound and message that Mexico is doing the right thing to grow its economy. But yes, I mean, on the other side, we see that, I mean, people cross every day. There's, I think, 60% of the people that cross to Nogales, Arizona, walk across the border and spend in Nogales, Arizona. And those are the things that I mean, we have to keep on working how to collaborate and how to be reciprocal. I mean, I guess if we can offer those alternatives in Sonora and promote that, we need to go hand by hand with the people in Arizona so they can help us out and go back and forth.
The report was based on the 2007-2008 year. Organizations such as Visit Tucson are eager for a new report and expect the numbers will be significantly larger and thus show a great economic impact from the Mexican shopper to the Arizona economy. Join us next week as we take a look back at the year 2013. For all of us here at Arizona Week, I'm Lorraine Rivera.